there's a sheet. I do many things just in the course of the probate, trust, and estate portion of my practice. This is just a breakdown of everything that I could think of that I do. So if you ever have a question, it's best just to come to me and ask, because most likely it will fall into one of these 30-some categories. And this doesn't include all the business work that I do or all of the ancillary real estate, landlord tenant, all the other crap that I deal with on a daily basis. So that being said, today kind of what I wanted to do is give you a little bit more realistic view of what my job is and what it does. So understand, I love my work. I make light of it. I feel like the only way to deal with what I do is to have a good sense of humor about it, because all of us are going to die. If you don't think you're going to die, get the hell out, because you're delusional. Many of us will become, Diane will tell you statistically, most of us will become incapacitated or disabled at some point before we die. And it's very difficult. The things that I have to deal with are extraordinarily unpleasant. I deal with people becoming sick. I deal with people losing their ability to make their own decisions, which is heart-wrenching, and I deal with people dying. Whether it's a young child, I've had children, I've had to deal with this. I have had to tell people that their family members have died. They just didn't know. And so I have to make those calls like a doctor and tell people, hey, by the way, your brother died today. So it's extremely difficult. But the reason I'm telling you this is because if it's that difficult for me, imagine what it's like being in that position yourselves. So let me kind of give you two particular scenarios. The first is, most people don't realize the most important value of having a plan in place. It's not when you're gone. We have state statutes. We have default rules that if you don't have something in place and you go, it's going to be taken care of. Now, things might not go where you want them to go, but it's going to be taken care of. If something happens to you when you're alive, it's a free-for-all. It truly is. So if I walk out this door right now and I get hit by a bus and I'm in a coma, I'm disabled, something's happened, and I don't have a plan in place, the default rule says any person who is interested in my welfare can step in and become appointed to make decisions for me.
No.
Yeah.
My medical decisions, my property, financial, insurance, tax, and business decisions. What does that mean? I tell people, I've never met your children. I could become their guardian. I have never met your brother. I could become his conservator, because I might be better than the other person that applied. So one particular case that I had, which was just terrible, I had a woman who, she was in probably her 70s. She was starting to slip, couldn't really take care of herself. She had 4 children, terrible people, 4 children.
4 terrible people.
2 of those terrible people came and retained me, and 2 of the other terrible people retained another attorney. They had differing opinions on how to take care of mom. Nobody asked mom. Nobody cared to ask mom. They just wanted to fight amongst each other. So for 6 months, if I recall correctly, we were in court, 2 against 2. Mom didn't have anybody. She didn't have representation. She didn't have a voice. But these two kept fighting over where she was living and what her medical decisions would be and where her bank accounts went. It was pathetic. And it cost tens of thousands of dollars. It took forever. In the meantime, mom was literally getting dragged. One week she'd be with these people, the next week she'd be with these people. These people would go and change the locks. These people would go and empty the bank accounts. Awful. So that is an example of what happens in your lifetime if at any point you are over the age of 18 and you cannot make a decision for yourself. The other part of this is when you go. So all of us are going to die. Deal with it. Tired of people whining about it. All of us are going to go. There are default rules in place that say when I go, my property goes here or here or here or here or here. There's a huge spider web, essentially, of people where money and property would go to. Don't worry, it's not going to go to the States. Stop complaining about that. Unless you have no family at all, you are the last surviving member of your entire family line, your money's not going to go to the state. But it's going to go to your next of kin, and most people say, well, I hate that person who's my sister. I don't want her to get my money. All right, we need to change that. More importantly is, if you go and you have left behind children, I cannot stress this enough. If you have left behind children, your children can't make their own decisions. Your children can't buy your house. Your children can't do anything. They can't receive any money from your estate if they're under the age of 21, not 18. 21. So if you have minor children who are under the age of 18, they're not adults yet. Again, any person interested in caring for your children can become their guardian. That's why I said earlier, I have never met most of you in this room, I have not met any of your children. I could become their guardian if something happened to you. I could even fight your spouse if you have a spouse, because I could say, you're unfit. If, however, you have put something in place in a will that says, I want blank to take care of my children. By statute, they receive the highest priority to serve in that role, and anybody who wants to step in otherwise has to prove, by what we call clear and convincing evidence, it's significantly more likely than not, that that person is unfit to serve, which is, ask Ashley, it's extremely difficult. So, taking care of minor children is paramount. Taking care of their money is paramount. This is the other piece. If you try to leave money to a minor child, and even to a child who's 18 or 19 or 20, they can't receive it. So, in that case, somebody who's interested in caring for the child's money steps in. Guess who's going to be interested in caring for their money? Everybody you didn't leave money to.
Exactly.
They're going to come in and they're going to take it over, and they're going to do whatever the hell they want with it. It's awful. So please just understand, this is extremely important. I talk to everybody. It doesn't cost you a thing. It doesn't cost your friends or family a thing. I do services on an emergency basis if there's going to be surgery. I do services for free, for discounted rates. Everybody in this room gets discounts. Everybody you refer gets discounts. Just do it. That's all that I can emphasize, because the last thing you want to see happen or be aware of happening is that everything falls apart. I'm out of time. Thank you.